Hi, now we are going to see about the social issues and the environment. Now let us see some introduction about it. The India has 16 percentage of world population, and also India has 2.4 percentage of land, and we have to concentrate on the natural resources, but in India there is a high pressure on the natural resources, and also there are no micronutrients in the soil for cultivation. So the sustainable development is very big question. First, let us see what is sustainable development. Meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. This is referred as the sustainable development. Optimum use of natural resources with high degree of reusability, minimum wastage, least generation of toxic by products and maximum productivity. Now let us see World Summit on Sustainable Development. Everyone concentrate on the sustainable development. The UNCED conducted conference on environment and development on 1992. Earth Summit held at Rio de Janeiro at Brazil. This conference proposed that action on the sustainable development in social, economic and environmental context for the 21st century. Now let us see what are the dimensions of sustainable development. The sustainable development aims the benefits derived from the interaction between the society, economy and environment. Here the economy and environment and society, these three are interlinked. These three, when work together, there will be a sustainable development. Now let us see what are the aspects of sustainable development. First one, the intergenerational equity and intragenerational equity. First, let us see what is intergenerational equity. We should hand over a safe and healthy and resourceful environment to our future. This is very important. Next, let us see what is intragenerational equity. The technological development of rich countries should support the economic growth of the poor countries and help in narrowing the wealth gap and lead to the sustainability. Now let us see the concept or approaches or significance for the sustainable development. First one, to develop sustainable lifestyle, we have to develop in the appropriate technology. Without appropriate technology, we cannot maintain or we cannot develop a sustainable development. And then always we have to follow reduce, reuse, recycle approach. And then we should providing environmental awareness and education to the people. Then only we can follow or we can get a sustainable development. And then consumption of renewable resources must be more. Always we have to refuse for the non-renewable resources use. And then next one, we have to conserve the non-renewable resource. This is very important one. And then foremost on us, we have to control the population. When we control the population, everything will be too good. So all the resources which is available on the earth will be more enough for the less number of people. But in nowadays or in the current situation, the population is very high, so we cannot give we cannot distribute the same amount of natural resources for all the people. This is the very big problem, and then this does not lead a sustainable development. Now let us see urbanization. What is urbanization? The movement of human population from rural area to urban area is referred as the urbanization. Now let us see what are the causes for it. We know the cities are main center of economic growth, trade, transportation, education and employment. So the peoples are moving from rural area to urban areas. Now let us see what is urban sprawl. About 50% of people are living in urban areas. So the people move from rural to urban area for the employment. Therefore, the urban growth is growing very fast. And also it is difficult to provide commercial, industrial and residential facilities to all. Therefore, the formation of suburban takes place. This is called urban sprawl. Now let us see energy demanding activities. The urban people have higher standard of life. Their lifestyle demands more energy inputs. They produce lot of waste, and also they produce pollution more. They consume lot of energy. Now let us see the example for energy demanding activities. Commercial and residential lighting, and also transportation for moving from residence to working place, and also industry using large proportion of energy, fridge, washing machine, AC, water heater, etc. Population control needs lot of energy dependent technology. So in all the areas, wherever it may be a commercial or residential, or it may be in the industry or electrical equipments, whatever it may be, everything require energy. So we are going for or we are running in the energy demand situation. Now let us see some solution for urban energy problem. When we use public transport, the energy will be conserved over there. Next, avoid own water vehicle. Avoid own motor vehicle. In all field, energy should not waste. Whatever it may be the field, it may be the industry or domestic purpose, wherever it is, the energy must be saved. The energy production capacity should be increased. Use energy saving technology, and also use solar energy and wind energy. Energy wasters should be punished. Next, let us see water conservation. The process of saving water for future utilization is known as water conservation. Now let us see what is the need for water conservation. Water resources are more, but the quality is not high due to the pollution. So we have to conserve the water. Better life needs more fresh water, and also as the population increases, need of fresh water is more, and also deforestation reduces the rainfall. Over exploitation leads to drought, and also agricultural and industrial purpose need more fresh water. Now let us see what are the strategies of water conservation. First one, reducing the evaporation loss. First we have to reduce the evaporation. When we reduce the evaporation, there will be, or else the water availability on the earth will be more, and then we have to reuse the water, and then preventing wastage of water, and then we have to decrease the runoff losses, and then we have to avoid discharge of sewage. So when we follow all that, the water will be conserved over there. And then now let us see some of the methods of water conservation. There are two types of water conservation methods are available. One is the rainwater harvesting, another one is the watershed management. First we are going to see about the rainwater harvesting. It is a technique of capturing and storing of rainwater for future utilization, is referred as the rainwater harvesting. Now let us see what is the need for it. We are storing or we are harvesting the water to meet the demand of water, and also to recharge the groundwater by storing, and to reduce the salinity in the water, and also to reduce the surface runoff loss, and also to reduce soil erosion, to reduce storm water, to increase the hydrostatic pressure, and to minimize the water crisis and conflict, so that we need to harvest the rainwater. Now let us see the India's positions in groundwater level. The annual rainfall level is 1200 millimeter per year. The rainy season is from June to November, but the vegetation is very small or very little. When you see the groundwater, it will be not in very good taste. When you look at the annual recharge of groundwater is much less than the consumption. Always we are consuming more water from the ground, but the recharge of the groundwater always it will be less. This situation is worst in urban areas. Now let us see the methods of rainwater harvesting. First we are going to see about the rooftop rainwater harvesting method. Here the rainwater is collected from the roof of the building, stored in the ground. Rainwater on roofs, playground, road and open lands is diverted to the surface tank. This can be used for future use. This method recharges the groundwater. It is a low cost technique. This is the very advantage of this method. Next, let us see what are the advantage of rainwater harvesting. Pumping of water is reduced. Second one, increasing the availability of water from well. The third use is the rise in groundwater level. The fourth one is the soil erosion will be minimized, and then the flood will be minimized, and then upgrading the social and environmental status. Future generation, for future generation we are assuring the water quality or water. So these are the main advantage of rainwater harvesting. Now let us see watershed management. Land area from which water drains under the influence of gravity into a stream, lake or reservoir. Now let us see the watershed management. The management of rainfall and resultant runoff. Now let us see what are the factors affecting the watershed. Uncontrolled